Hello again. Well, I caught a little bit of Fox News, and they had Mike Huckabee on, and they were talking about what's taking place, or what just took place, in Libya. And what took place in Libya is we saw Coptic Christians. We were told there's a total of 21 of them, all lined up, all wearing those infamous red jumpsuits, all being executed at the same time by the ISIL insurgents. And this isn't like a new revelation. According to what was said on Fox News, there's been 13 major attacks against Coptic Christians. But what's frightening is this is taking place in Libya. Now, what does Libya and Iraq have in common? Well, I think what they have in common is before the United States started meddling in Iraq, and before the United States started meddling in Libya, the Coptic Christians lived in relatively peaceful harmony in both of those countries. George W. Bush removed Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein, I wouldn't consider him to be normal, but what he did do is he kept the lid on the entire Middle East. Every country in that part of the world feared him. George W. Bush removed that individual, which again, in the term that I've used, is he's taken the lid off of Pandora's box, and nobody can put it back. I have no idea how many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives have been lost since the United States, under the leadership of George W. Bush, removed Saddam Hussein, opened Pandora's box. But I believe there's hundreds of thousands of people that are no longer here that would still be here if it wasn't for George W. Bush false claims of weapons of mass destruction that supposedly Saddam Hussein had. They were never found because they never existed. But Saddam Hussein did want to give that impression. Why? That's how he kept other countries at bay. Now, what happened in Libya? Well, in Libya, again, the Coptic Christians lived in relatively peaceful harmony. Muammar Gaddafi, as crazy as he was, protected his people. Hillary Rodham Clinton, along with Huma Abedin, under the direct orders, I believe, of the chosen one, Barack Hussein Obama, made claims that were untrue and unfounded. The claims that they made was that Muammar Gaddafi was committing genocide, killing his own people, which again was not true. Because of those claims made by the Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton, Obama launched a war against Gaddafi. Obama never received congressional approval, and only Congress can supposedly pass the laws to allow a president to attack a foreign country. That never happened, but that didn't stop Obama. Obama supplied, equipped, and according to the Secretary of State, the current one, the Munster lookalike, John Kerry, they were training and have been training and probably still are training rebel freedom fighters in Jordan. Interesting, is it not, in Jordan? The same place where the F-16 fighter pilot was burned to death by ISIL. Who helped create ISIL? Well, it all comes back again to George W. Bush. ISIL, Al-Qaeda, the Mujahideen, they would be insignificant elements. They wouldn't even exist in most cases, if it wasn't for George W. Bush removing Pandora's box, the lid off of Pandora's box. If Hillary Rodham Clinton didn't accuse Gaddafi of genocide, he'd probably still be in power. How many Christians died throughout Libya, throughout Iraq, because of the actions of 3 individuals, George W. Bush being one of them, Hillary Rodham Clinton being another, and Barack Hussein Obama being another. I'd speculate over the past 14 years, it's got to be 1 million, if not more. You have to ask yourself a question: how do these people sleep at night? Every time I see Hillary, I want to puke. With her pantsuits on, waving her hands like she's some kind of princess. Every time I see the floppy-eared resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue with his transgender, I want to puke. Every time I see George Bush, G.W. Bush, I want to puke. They will all go down in history, similar to Hitler, similar to Stalin, similar to Mao, similar to Genghis Khan. They might even surpass the number of people that those individuals were responsible for exterminating before this is all over. I sort of told you what I think. Let me know what you think.